Following this same assignment 2, that says critically evaluate the crafting of a strategic plan of any organization of your choice. And that organization should be an existing organization that can be accessed easily. You are advised to work in groups of 10. Yeah, that's that. You are required to do that. So we are saying this same question, right? Using this same question, we are to explain the processes or the steps involved in the formulation of a strategic plan. And we spent most of our time last time trying to talk about the process of formulating a strategic plan. But as for today, I want to bring your attention to another step that is very, very critical before you even start thinking about the formulation of the strategic plan. And this one is called analysis, right? That is called what? Analysis. You got to know how to analyze. Analysis is very, very crucial. Before you formulate any strategic plan, you must learn how to do it. You must be conversant with the processes of analysis. You have to know how to analyze. I think that's what we said last time. And we highlighted to the class that when you know how to analyze, then you got to begin by doing that. You start from analyzing. After you have done your analysis, then from your analysis, you are now able to formulate a strategic plan. Can you hear me clearly? First of all, before I continue and say many other things, we're looking at analysis. That's a very fundamental step in a strategic plan formation. Hello, are we good?
Yes.
All right. Thanks very much, Mr. Francis. You've joined the class. We're excited to have you joining this conversation. It's an exciting thing. Yvonne is also in class. We are delighted to have you in this conversation, joining the conversation. Please feel comfortable.
Thank you, sir. Good evening.
Thank you, sir.
We are looking at the second assignment. This is what we are doing. The one that you are submitting at the month end, we know it's a group assignment. It's about formulating a strategic plan. Last time we spent most of our time explaining the process, the steps and procedures involved in the formation of a strategic plan. But as for now, what I want you to understand, I'm trying to bring your attention to the one of the most important steps in the formation of the strategic plan. And I said the most important step before you even start formulating the strategic plan is to do the analysis, analyze. You have to analyze, and after you analyze the environment, check the environment that you have, understand the internal and the external environment properly. Do that analysis, all right? Once you do the analysis, then you shall be good. There are three important tools that are used to do analysis. The most common is what is known as the Swot Analysis. And there is also what you call Pestel analysis. And finally, you end up with the Mike Porter's 5 forces, right? Mike Porter's 5 forces. Porter's 5 forces. 5 forces. These are very important. You will meet questions in exams several times talking about Porter's 5 forces framework and the Pestel analysis, including SWOT analysis. So we are trying to talk about analysis. So you need to understand the process of analysis, or the whole idea why we do the analysis is just to identify, gather data. You you identify the data, you gather this data, then you evaluate this data that should be relevant to the organization, that you may be able to understand both the internal environment and the external environment. And riding on the same things that I've now just said, number one, we know that when you're identifying and gathering this data, this is heavily dependent on you formulating the vision in what we talked about last time. If you can have, first of all, formulate your vision, formulate your mission, setting some strategic goals and craft the strategy, then it's important to understand the environment where you're going to be working. And the tools that I use that you should be very conversant with, I've repeated them. There is SWOT analysis, personnel analysis, and the 5 forces of Mike Porter. All right. So I will spend most of my time today just talking about the SWOT analysis. So now you are very much conversant with the SWOT analysis. You know that these are just initials, right? That is stands for, SC, strength, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. Now, when you analyze the environment using the SWOT, what you're trying to do is you are trying to summarize the organization's strength, what strength the organization has, what are some of the weaknesses that the organization has, okay? And that's the internally, okay? That's the internal analysis. Internally, you're looking at the strength and the weaknesses of the organization. And externally, you look at the opportunities that are available to the business and the threats available to the business. But before I continue with all that, I want now the class to just participate in this. You can indulge in talking about some of the examples, common examples of the strengths that the businesses may have. Use a practical Zambian example. Is there anyone who is talking about those strengths? What strength do you think the government, this organization may be riding on? We're just talking about SWOT analysis. What are common strengths? I'm not talking about steroids. I'm just talking about SWOT analysis. What are the common strengths? The ones that are basic, really, very common in institutions. Hello? Any common strength that you can say, this is our strength? In short, what issues do you look at when you're looking at your strengths as an institution?
Maybe the market share.
The market share, all right? Yeah, you look at the market share, how big your market share is, isn't it? Market share. What else?
Sales rate.
What? Sorry?
Sales rate.
All right, sales rates. You can amplify that. All right. So we have heard that sales rate. What else? Let's get what else?
About say infrastructure.
All right. The infrastructure that this company may have better infrastructure than the other ones, right? Okay. So you could have things, a lot of things that would include the following. Now listen carefully. We want you to listen very carefully. Number one, brand reputation, right? Okay. Is your brand global recognized, right? Under brand recognition, you can have things like high customer trust and loyalty. Okay. Positive word of the mouth. Do you really have the people that can talk about good about you as a company, that can speak good about you? It's one of the strengths. All right. Those are strengths that you look at. Brand reputation, a very strong strength. Do you have good reputation? Do the customers really trust you? Is your logo, your brand, widely recognized? That's the first one. I've gotten that. Anyway, in addition to what has been said, we're talking about strength. So I've talked about the brand recognition. Then the other one is financial stability, right? For example, you are able to do high profit margins. You have high profit margins, allowing you to do a lot of research and development investments. You have low levels of debts. You don't owe people. Okay. And you have this consistent revenue strength. So your financial stability is one of your strengths. So brand reputation, financial stability is your strength, understanding that. Technological innovation as well. That could be your strength as well. Okay. Do you have some innovations, okay, that you have? And strong workforce, like working with a highly qualified, highly skilled, employees. That should be something that you can pride in as well. Did you get that one? So I have said things. I've summarized what I've said into one. Brand reputation. I've talked about financial stability, right? Innovation, innovation and technology. And then the other one that you have that I've just made reference to is the what have I talked about? Strong workforce, isn't it? Strong workforce, right? Strong workforce. Are your people qualified? Or maybe the people that you're working with are not even qualified. You are working with high school dropouts because you can't afford to hire people. So you are afraid. All these are your strengths. Any questions? Any question or contribution?
Clear from my answer.
Someone else? Is there any question? We need to get that one.
Yeah, from my end.
We need this understanding. So when you're doing a SWOT analysis of your company, these are some of the things that you are looking at. Okay, those are some of the things that you are really looking at. Okay, so now some of the common weaknesses that businesses may have would include the following. Now these are weaknesses, right? Limited financial Resources. You've gotten that one? Those are weaknesses. Lack of capital to invest in growth, for example. Weak brand. It's just the opposite of what I was saying. Poor customer services, maybe outdated technology, high employee turnover, right? People are easily not kept. Dependency maybe on a single supplier. You are just depending on a single supplier. All right? That is those are some of the common problems. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do we have any additions? Those are internals. Let's talk about opportunities now. What are some of the common opportunities that you may bring? You pay attention to that. So you could have on opportunities now outside the institution. You could think of market growth, right? Market growth, expanding demand for product or some services. If there is an increase in the demand of some goods and services, that is your opportunity, isn't it? Market growth. Number two, new technology. Innovations that improve efficiency and reduce costs, those are your opportunities, right? Where now there is integration of artificial intelligence, machine learning, AI in our working. We're doing all that. So those are some of the opportunities. Even changing consumer preferences, shifting the trends that create new business opportunities. For example, the preferences of consumers have changed. They used to like these things or this type of the things. Now they have changed. They like this type. You understand, right? Is there anyone who can give us a practical example on the changing consumer preferences? How they can be used as an opportunity for the business? Any practical example?
Like the technological industry, like this the phones. Now people prefer using smartphones compared to the old phones, like the ones Nokia used to produce. That's a
Oh, yeah.
practical example I can give.
All right, thanks. Yeah, you see now people have changed. The preferences are changing. And in business, you should be reading the trends. You need to always never sleep, read the trends. See where people are going, right? Okay, the world is Apple, for example, in the meantime. We're going towards Apple, right? Apple, everything, Apple, 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 Apple. And you can see this trend, isn't it? Very important for you to measure that as well. Thanks for that. The other opportunity could be global expansion, entering new geographical areas, geographical markets, strategic partnerships, okay? It's another one, like strategic partnership, collaborating with other companies for mutual benefit, right? You collaborate with other companies. Those are benefits I'm talking about opportunities. You find this collaboration with these companies proposing that you should work together so that you can produce this and that, isn't it? They are pushing for a partnership. They want to partner with you, okay? Be able to partner with them so that there is peace in the land. You get the point? Those are opportunities. Government incentives, like tax breaks, the grants, subsidies, among others. Those things, for example, now in the supply of those solar related, issues, right? So you could find all those issues that there is reduction in taxes. Those are opportunities we are trying to highlight. Are there any more opportunities that you could think of adding? What practical opportunities could you think of? I have talked about market growth, new technology, changing preferences, strategic partnerships, and government incentives. What else? Hmm? What else?
In
What of
industrial yards,
Industrial?
industrial yards or economic zones.
Economic zones. What's that? Maybe you can make people understand.
Yeah, government for now is trying to promote industries to set up their factories, industrial yards, where government has put up incentives such that maybe when you set up your industry there are low rates of electricity tariffs, even on taxes that you have to pay to the government, they are lower.
On manufacturing, okay?
Yes. So everything is
Okay.
lowered so that when you go there, at least you will be paying less than industries that are set up outside the economic zones.
All right, that's nice. That's nice. Thanks. So those opportunities in manufacturing, Manufacturing, very, very important. Now let's talk about the threats. Somebody else wanted to say something before you talk about the threats? The threats. Hello?
Maybe on the threats we can talk of unstable political grounds where
Yeah. Continue.
yes, where the political environment of a certain country is unstable, so businesses tend to shun away from such countries.
Right.
And
So
we can
he has talked about political instability, isn't it? Those are threats now. Political instability. That's why you see many people now, they reduce on investments towards the elections because they don't know which person is going to win elections. Those are some of the things that usually happens. Okay. What else? Threats. We're talking about threats. What other threats?
high cost of doing business. Like if there is high inflation, which causes high cost of production, hence causing high prices of the commodities, which will reduce the overall revenue collection of the company.
All right, thanks. So let's just simplify that and say downturn in the economy, economic downturns, right? Economic downturns. You remember things like recession, inflation, okay? All those are threats to the business. Increased competition as well is one of them. Changing in regulations, all right? Increased competition, like when you see other people coming, maybe other international companies are coming to compete with you, that is an issue. You worry about that because that may really affect the way how you are working, isn't it? You may find challenges around that, right? Changing regulations, yeah? The legal laws, the regulations, the laws of the country, if they are changing, maybe the labor laws, just the laws that guide the business, environment in your area, that may be a threat to you, okay? Cybersecurity risks, especially those that are in highly technological, businesses that depend so much on technology. Cybersecurity risks, okay? And the shifting consumer preferences, okay? Shifting you know, consumer preferences as well. All these are threats. Like you are still doing this, but people want this. You understand? People have changed. They are no longer interested in that. They want to invest in all that here and there. So basically, these are some of the threats. We have talked about opportunities. We have talked also about what? About threats. Is there any question?
Just an addition on the threats.
Yeah.
When government introduces subsidies,
Mm-hmm.
many companies are shaking. Government
Mm-hmm.
subsidies. So in most cases, when government introduces subsidies, it means companies, their cash flows are affected because the prices, they are reduced.
Okay.
Where government can come.
Oh yeah, I get that one. Give a practical Zambian example.
Yeah, like what is happening now with the millers. A
Oh yeah.
long time, the millers were able to set their prices, but now government has strongly come in. They are producing their own mill, so using
And in large quantity
companies,
continuously.
and actually in all the districts. So
And now in all the districts.
and they have got the advantage of FRA storage facilities. So
Exactly. They are bigger guys.
yes.
I now understand. I understand that that's a very valid point. Any other comment point from somebody else?